Hi, this is Mandy again. This video is going to be a little bit different. This is going to teach you how to take an Excel spreadsheet of any data that you've gotten either from Google Forms or like EdPuzzle and turn it into a document that you can and then import into Aeries, and it'll instantly grade it for you and import the grades. This process has saved me a lot of time and energy, especially during distance learning. Bear with me, there are a few steps, but once you learn how to do it, it's really easy. The steps are very simple steps, just a lot of them. So let's get started. All right, so just for reference sake, let's say you have a Google form that you put into Google Classroom, and if you look, I'm clicking the View Assignment button at the bottom. Well, two ways. You can import that straight right there on the very right upper side, the circle that says Import Grades if you want, and it will automatically import the Google Form grades into Google Classroom, and then from Google Classroom, you can go to your assignment in Aeries, where my nice little arrow is. If you look, my assignment says Demo for the Peeps. You guys are the peeps. Demo for the peeps, so it's not a real assignment, but you go into your assignment and you click the little Show More button, and you can import that from Google. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Best thing to do if you have it graded in Aeries. Now, sometimes certain things don't grade well in Aeries, or grades are funky and you're not quite sure, or it's just something else, another program that doesn't export or import into Google very well. I think I meant to say Google in the last part. My bad. But if it doesn't import into Google very well, then how in the world can we import it into Aeries? Well, my next little arrow says import scores from file. Specifically, how do you do this and make it actually work? Well, this is what this is about. So let's say I have a Google form and it's not importing to Google Classroom for whatever reason, and I would like to get the answers and not have to hand grade it. Well, up on the right hand, or I guess middle, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. My bad. I guess on the middle right there it says responses. You click on that, and then you can click on the little Excel spreadsheet up on the right hand side with the arrow. When you click on this, if it's the first time you've clicked on it, it will say create a new spreadsheet. Yes, you want to do that. Click create. Okay, so this is the real spreadsheet that I got. As you can see, there's a timestamp on the left-hand side, email addresses, scores, names, who the teacher is. This is a Google form I created, but for the sake of keeping my students' information private, I made a fake template. Ta-da! Scores, and all the answers says blah, 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 what a kid would love to write. So how do I take this basically and put it into Aeries? I can't just simply import it in the scores from the file. It's not going to work. It will give you a whole bunch of error readings and you'll be like, but where's my student ID? How do I get the score alone? So don't panic. We're gonna go back to my blah, blah, blah. All right, so if you notice, the 800 numbers for the students are in the email address. If the 800 number is not in the email address, you're gonna have to make sure that their like Aeries ID or their 800 number, or just whatever their Aeries ID is, if it's changed for your district, is somewhere on your form or information. But ours is the email address, so it's super simple. Also, if you look, the score is, I made it 4 out of 5 for all of my fake children, but it has a slash in it, and it's going to be a problem when you try importing this into Aeries because it's not gonna understand. So, few steps need to be taken. First of all, to get the 800 number away from the email address, if this is your issue, you're going to right click on the top of the column. So you click on the B at the very top, and it highlights the whole column, and you right click it. When you right click it, you get this list. From this list, you're going to click on the insert one to the right. Basically, all you did is make space to the right. Woohoo! You're almost there. All right, next, at the very top, it says data. You're gonna click on data. Make sure that you're, actually my cursor's in the wrong spot. You're gonna wanna put your cursor on this section right here. B, you're gonna highlight B and then click data. So you click data and, oh man, I went back. There we go, you click data, and when you click data, this pops up. It pops up and it says split text to column. You're going to do that. Basically what it's doing is saying, hey, within this text, where do you want to break up this data and put it to the right? If you didn't create a column to the right, you can't put the data to the right. So then it pops up and there's another step and it's like, detect automatically. You're going to click on that. And what comes up is a whole bunch of things you can separate your data from, but none of those are what we want. We want custom. In the custom, you are going to put the @ symbol. If you look in the column between B and C, look, it separated the data at the @. I'll go back. If you look at the columns, it says 800 number at demo.com. When you have it, you have the number all by itself along with the demo.com all by itself. So now you have a student ID all by itself, which is epic. All right, but one more thing needs to happen. You need to make sure that your score is separated as well. So you're going to right click on the top of the column for whatever score it is. For me, it happens to be column B. For you, it may be something else. I'm sorry, words, D, column D, my bad. All right, when you right click on it, insert one to the right. We're just doing the exact same thing we did for the other column. We made a space to the right, yay! Now you're gonna click on the row D, column D to make sure that it's highlighted. When you click on that afterwards, you're going to click data at the very top where my lovely arrow is placed. Again, we're going to split text to column. From there, it's going to say detect automatically. We're going to click it. We don't care about all of their ones of separating. We don't have a period, we don't have a semicolon, we don't have a comma. We have a weird, cute, slashy thing. So custom. You're going to make that slash. And if you look, our data now is separated from column D and E by that slash. So all of those scores are separated, which is perfect. Now we can do something in Aeries with this. To make any file go into Aeries, it has to be a certain file type. So whether you're doing this for Google Form or you're doing this for EdPuzzle, which I know I mentioned EdPuzzle, but EdPuzzle is my life and I use EdPuzzle all the time, and this is how I import the grade. You can click File on the top left-hand side. Download. This is how you can download it into a different format. We want the common separated values, or more commonly known as CSV. I'm sorry for that noise. It's my cat's automatic cat feeder. Just ignore it. But the common separated values CSV file is the one that Aeries will take. So you download that. You get a nice download screen and save it to wherever you want. I have it in music so you can't see my files. All right, you go back to your demo. Demo for the peeps is the assignment I have, but whatever assignment you have, again, you're gonna click the little down button. You're gonna import scores from file this time, and it's gonna come up this screen. You're gonna click select file, and you're gonna click whatever file it was. I skipped that process because you can find your own file. And then you're gonna click upload once you find that file. Include header is totally fine. All right. When you upload that file, it will look something like this. There'll be a timestamp, there'll be email address, columns. It will just be a whole bunch of different data. But the very top above those columns, you will notice where my arrows are pointing. There's nice boxes with drop downs. Those boxes are your life. When you drop it down, there'll be two options, student ID and correct score. Because we separated the student ID out from the email address, now we have a nice student ID all by itself. And because we separated the score from how much it was out of, we have a nice score all by itself. And so you can click on student ID for the student ID, click on score, and then you can import the scores. The best part about this is, let's say I'm teaching marine bio for 5 classes. I have, 160 kids? So I have 160 kids, and I don't want to make 160 different forms, so you make one Google form or whatever you have, and it's all in one place. You can upload that same file to each individual class period, and it won't put wrong scores into kids' sections because it will only go based off of their ID number. And so if that ID number isn't found in that class, it just doesn't do anything with it. So it is a super nice and helpful tool. This has been a long-winded video. You may want to watch and do it at the same time, but this has been my life specifically for EdPuzzle. Google Classroom now imports the scores from Google Form. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. From Google Form, and that's helpful. Also kind of cool, you can take your Excel spreadsheet from the Google form. Let's say you just want participation. You can make a new column like I showed you how to and just put the points for whatever, like let's say it's 5 points for just doing it. Put 5 all the way down, and then now you have a score and you can upload that in a CSV file. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. I know I speak fast, so again, as I say in all my videos, you might want to, you might want to click on the little settings and make it slow down. But I really hope this helped. This was a lifesaver to me, taught by my department head to us, and I just want to share the information and knowledge. So, thanks for watching.